What would you do if you were trapped in a place known as the Rock, a place so inescapable, so unforgiving, that it was said no one could ever leave alive? But one night in June 1962, 3 prisoners did the unthinkable. They vanished from Alcatraz, never to be seen again. Did they survive? Or did they meet their end in the icy waters of San Francisco Bay? This is the story of the greatest prison break in American history, and the mystery that still haunts us today. Alcatraz was the prison of prisons. Located on a tiny, isolated island just over a mile from the shores of San Francisco, it housed the most dangerous criminals in America. Men like Al Capone and Machine Gun Kelly called this place home. Its walls were cold, impenetrable. The waters around it, frigid, violent, and deadly. No one, they said, could escape Alcatraz. Frank Morris, Clarence Anglin, and John Anglin. These men weren't your average prisoners. Morris, with an IQ so high he could have been a genius, was a master at outthinking the system. The Anglin brothers, expert swimmers from their days growing up in the swampy rivers of Florida, knew how to handle the water. Together they formed a trio that had one goal: freedom. It all started with spoons. Yes, spoons. Every night for months, the 3 men took turns digging small holes in the walls of their cells. Piece by piece, they chipped away at the concrete, hiding their progress behind makeshift cardboard covers. The sounds of their digging were drowned out by the prison's nightly noises, and no one noticed what was happening just beyond the guards' sight. And when they weren't digging, they were planning. Out of raincoats and rubber, they crafted makeshift life vests and a raft. They even fashioned dummy heads out of soap, toilet paper, and human hair to fool the guards during bed checks. June 11, 1962. The moment had arrived. At nightfall, while the prison was asleep, Morris and the Anglin brothers crawled through their holes. They climbed up through the ventilation shafts, making their way to the roof, silently slipping into the night air. Below them, the violent currents of the bay roared, but they didn't hesitate. With their homemade raft in hand, they disappeared into the cold, dark waters. The next morning, the guards did their usual rounds. At first glance, nothing seemed out of place. The beds were made, the prisoners appeared to be sleeping peacefully. But when one guard reached out to wake them up, something was wrong. The heads didn't move. They weren't real. Chaos erupted in Alcatraz. A massive manhunt began. Boats, helicopters, and the best detectives scoured the bay for any sign of the escapees. But they found nothing. Not the men, not the raft, just silence. Did they drown in the unforgiving waters of the bay? Some say the currents were too strong, that they must have perished in the waves. Others believe that these men were too smart, too prepared to fail. In the years that followed, strange clues emerged. A paddle found washed up on shore, a wallet belonging to one of the Anglin brothers, but no bodies. And then, there were the letters. Decades later, the FBI received a letter supposedly written by John Anglin, claiming that the 3 men had survived. But the letter was quickly dismissed. Could it have been real? We may never know. To this day, the fate of Frank Morris and the Anglin brothers remains one of the greatest mysteries in American history. Did they escape the Rock and live out the rest of their lives in freedom, far away from the prison that was meant to hold them forever? Or did the waters of San Francisco Bay claim their lives that night? We may never have all the answers, but one thing is certain. The story of Alcatraz, the story of those 3 men, continues to captivate the world. A testament to the human spirit's undying thirst for freedom, even in the face of impossible odds. Did they make it out alive? What do you think? Leave your thoughts in the comments. And if you want to hear more unbelievable stories from history, make sure to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and hit that bell icon so you don't miss what's coming next. Because the past is full of mysteries waiting to be uncovered.